is it that you see? I know for me personally, I like to picture a place where the animals roam freely. However, the reality of it is anything but that. Most of our food comes from large corporate-owned farms called factory farms, which is like you see here in the picture. Factory farming comes with many downfalls. It's hazardous to our environment, our public health, and to the animals involved. They contain millions of gallons of manure that can spill into our waterways. Workers and those who live close by often suffer due to hazardous air pollutants and contaminants. You yourself can become ill due to consuming products that have come from unsanitary facilities. The animals are forced to spend their entire lives in horrendous conditions. Most are tortured, abused, and confined to tiny cages from the day they are born until the day they die. Despite all of the well-documented problems and health risks, the number of factory farms in the U.S. continues to grow. The first thing that I'm going to talk to you about today are the environmental hazards. Factory farms produce over 500 million tons of waste each year. There is stored in a liquid form in open-air pits called lagoons, and is then spread over nearby farmland as fertilizer. The manure often leaks, which contaminates our waterways and kills our fish. Along with manure leaks, additives and antibiotics are released into our environment as well. Roughly 29 million pounds, about 80% of the nation's antibiotic use, are added to animal feed each year. This combination plays a large role in the production of drug-resistant bacteria. The air is polluted by high methane emissions from cows and the release of hydrogen sulfide from the manure lagoons. If enough is inhaled, you can become very ill and possibly die. The NIOSH deemed it as the leading cause of death in a workplace. The second thing I'm going to talk about are the public health hazards. Factory farming's main goal is to produce large quantities for the lowest cost. Animals are overcrowded in stressful environments, making it easy for disease to spread. For instance, beef cattle are packed into feedlots full of manure that they stand in all day. The manure can then transfer to their hide, and when they are sent to the slaughterhouse, it can get into our meat and contaminate our food. In 2006, there was an E. coli outbreak which contaminated spinach, killing 3 people and sickening hundreds more. And that's just one of the many instances. The idea of quantity over quality needs to be avoided when it involves the food we eat. The last thing that I'm going to talk about is the inhumane treatment of animals, which is the most important to me. These animals, from the day they are born, live a life of horror and stress. Approximately 95% of egg-laying chickens are confined to what are known as battery cages, which is what you see here. They offer less space per hen than the area of a piece of paper. On top of that, they are stacked one on top of the other, row after row, in a windowless warehouse. When chickens are slaughtered, there are no federal regulations requiring that the bird not feel pain, so the entire process is full of it. Sows and veal calves are kept in crates so small they can't turn around. Sows are kept pregnant, fed food packed with growth-promoting drugs and garbage, and made sick from breathing in their own waste. Veal calves are chained around the neck to keep them from moving and slaughtered at only 5 months. And here you can see the pigs, and those are the veal calves. These animals suffer through life, having their tails, horns, beaks, and other body parts chopped off with no anesthesia or painkillers. The list of abuse is endless. All of these issues could be resolved if the companies were regulated more efficiently, laws were passed, and there were more requirements to keep these farms more focused on our as well as the animals' quality of life rather than making a dollar. In conclusion, factory farms are only worried about making money. With that comes many downfalls. It's harmful to us, our environment, and the animals. If only we could go back to the traditional method of raising animals on outdoor pastures. It's better for us, the environment, and the animals. Sustainable farming is the way to go because, unlike factory farming, sustainable farms feed the world without all the damage. To fix this, we need to support our local farmers. Sustainable farming worked for us years ago, and it can work for us now. I believe, unfortunately, that factory farms will never be completely phased out because of the money that they bring in. So our government agencies and states need to implement laws to protect our environment, us, and to keep the animals from suffering any more than they have to. In the words of Dr. Seuss, unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not.